What's going on, everybody? This is SJG, and welcome to WSSU Ram Nation. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Shout out to everybody who has already hopped in the chat. I see my guy Alonzo. Appreciate you for hopping on, and he will be our moderator for the day. So big shout out to him. And we want to get you guys started and respect this lady's time because it is almost that time. And when I say it's almost that time, it is almost football season. But this lady has no off season. But I'll go ahead and give her an introduction. She is a 2012 graduate of Winston-Salem State University. She is current title is Assistant Director of Athletics for. I messed it up already. Go ahead and I know what you do. Let's say that. But go ahead. But she does a little bit of everything. No, forget the title. She does a bit of everything, and she is one of our own, and she is definitely holding it down for the Ramley as we get ready for the football season and beyond. Miss April Reid, how are you doing today, April?
Hi, everything's good. Like you said, it's football season. No off season for me, so everything's good and we steady rolling.
Yeah, it is getting ready for. I think we're getting a little bit of weather coming in too. But let's so tell everyone, give everyone your proper title, and then we'll get into a little bit more about you because I know a lot of times you're all behind the scenes, and a lot of people see you but don't really see everything that you do. So we'll get into all of that.
Okay, yes, I'm the associate AD for operations, facilities, and equipment for every sport at Winston-Salem State. That is my official title.
Yeah, and in addition to that, she does a little bit of everything. I would call her the Swiss Army knife of WSSU athletics. I can't even count the things that I've seen her doing, and I'm sure that's just a part that goes beyond the pale. Most folks don't see her because she's behind the scenes, and if you see her, that's because she's troubleshooting on the fly. So we definitely appreciate her. Yeah, for giving us her time today. So, April, just talk us through before we get into where you are now, how you got to WSSU and your road into being a woman working in the sports field.
Okay, so I actually, granted, I did graduate in 2012. A lot of times I ended up going part time, but coming in 2004 is when I actually went to Winston-Salem State, and I
Oh
started
boy.
out. See, I actually started out as a student athletic trainer. Did that, advanced, ended up being the student trainer and a student equipment manager. And honestly, since then, it just took off from there. I was basically one of the best, and we would take trips that say, we can get a 2 for 1 for her. So I was one of those that once I start, I felt like I had to master everything. So I just constantly kept advancing. I ended up starting to go to school part time. And then even with that, I was still volunteering and helping with football. So technically, I've been around the program the whole time, basically the whole 20 years, to be honest. So I seen it when we were CIAA, go to MEAC, decide not to go MEAC, transition back to CIAA. So I've been there quite some time to see the good, bad, and the ugly. So other than that, I ended up, I'll be honest, when at the time Miss Walker, Tanya Walker was the AD, when I actually got hired on as well. So I just was thankful that she actually um, saw what she saw in me and provided me that opportunity to come on staff full time. And when I did at the time, I was just assistant game day operations and the head equipment manager. And since then, my work advanced myself and everything, and here I am now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, I hear you. I've been around those same 20 years, and as you say, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. So some lows and some highs again. When did you get into sports? Like, were you always into sports? Kind of walk me through, your journey with sports and what was the dedication there.
So growing up, I'm the only girl. I have five multiple brothers. So I always loved football. I have my oldest brother ended up playing at Norfolk State University. The baby boy actually played at Winston. My god brother, he actually plays in the CFL. I have people that I consider brothers that grew up with my brother that played in the NFL. So I'll be always been around sports. When I was in high school, I played, and from there, I mean, sports was just my life. So I always been around, and thought that I wanted to be a part of it, especially after I ended up volunteering as a student, and I just loved it and just kept going from there. And shout out to the sports management majors too, Dr. Felder.
Yeah, definitely was going to ask you about that. One of the great things about WSSU, just for our size, we always have, a good student to teacher ratio. Who are some of the people in the athletic department or just professors that really helped pour into you and, kept you going? Like you say, you were, sometimes you were going to school full time, sometimes part time, being, coming in and out. I know a lot of people, it would be tough for them to keep that continuity. But, who were some of the people that really helped shape you in that portion of your time at WSSU?
Dr. Felder definitely. Also, Jay Robinson at the time, he was the equipment manager. He definitely saw potential in me and kept pushing me to keep moving forward. And he was like, "No, you don't have to worry about that. Just go do this." Or, "Yeah, this is an opportunity for you." So he kept pushing me for that. And then Miss Walker, Miss Tanya Walker. She was always amazing to me. She was one of the things that I've never at that point. That was my first time really seeing when Coach Bill Hayes retired, and she ended up taking over. I'm like, wow, it's a woman in this position. That's pretty dope. So I really she was like a mentee to me as well. So she really inspired me as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And we are talking with April Reid. She is the Associate Athletic Director for Operations and Equipment at Winston-Salem State University. And again, a Winston-Salem State alumna herself. And I believe you were in the 2023 cohort of the 40 under 40.
Yes, I was.
Okay, yeah, congratulations. Now, just I really just admire you, for really staying with it. Again, a lot of times, when we don't take a linear path to stuff, a lot of times there's the temptation to give it up and to not follow through with your dreams and everything. So when did you officially become a part of the staff at WSSU? And just kind of what were your roles initially when you first came on?
When I first came on, I got hired August of 2015. I was part time in 2014, but officially full time in 2015. So then I was the head equipment manager, game day assistant, and after my a year and a half, the person, Jay Robinson at the time, he actually left. And so they'll say, well, okay, at this point, you know what? You know what to do. It's basketball season. You normally handle basketball season. We'll go ahead, let you go ahead, take over this role. And then from there, we'll go ahead and we'll hire on someone else. So year one go by, year two go by, year three go by. I still don't have an assistant, but that's when I got smart. So I ended up connected with the sports management department, and I ended up incorporating the internship program. That later on assisted with me being able to bring in students, and then I also ended up being on the board, assist with making sure that the sports management program stayed accredited and got accredited as well. So that was one of the great highlights of being with them as well. But ever since then, I've had plenty of people come by, help out. It's to the point sometimes I have to turn people away. I don't want to, but I even have other schools in our conference that's basically reaching out like, how do you get so many students? I can barely get 3. But I told them, you can call me. I can be a consultant for you, but I'm not giving you my jewels and my gems of what I do.
I know that's right. Yeah, that consultant money, that's what we like. I think that's amazing. Again, like you say, you're coming on part-time, and I'm sure that's had its obstacles and everything like that. But I think even in that, I hear that, you learn. I'm sure you got a chance to really know the odds and outs of pretty much almost everybody's job on in the athletic department, pretty much, right?
Yes, I'm very attentive. I make sure I pay attention to things in great detail. And I'll be honest, in the athletic department right now, I'm the second person who's been there the longest. The person that's been there longer than me, she's actually in our business office. But other than that, I'm the only one that's been there as long, or well, longer than everyone else.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you were there long enough to see us win a football championship. How about
Mhm.
that? That's been a minute. But as we in the comments, getting a lot of love here as you should. For sure. We apparently you're called Olivia Pope. I can definitely see that. I could even go a little bit older. Tip my millennial hat to MacGyver. I don't know. I feel like just my observations of the game day operations as just coming in as media, whether it's football, basketball, and I'm sure the other sports as well. Like it seems like anytime there's a problem, you're like right there, or somebody's in your face to ask you about it. Um, how are you able? Have you always been so decisive, and you know, and just how did you is that something that you had to grow into, or is that something that kind of came naturally for you, just like being able to come in and figure out and assess what needs to be done and problem solve and troubleshoot?
Yeah, honestly, it was something that I learned, but at the same time, being attentive helps. So if there's a situation that happened before, I make it my business that it does not happen again. And if it do, I know exactly what needs to be done. So I'm one of those. I like to say, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. So just trying to stay on top of everything. I mean, at the end of the day, I'll be honest. You can. The only thing about game day operations, you can plan your day to the T of a second, but it's not going to go as planned. So just being ready to try to troubleshoot. And if you see something about to happen, just trying to stay on top of it, making sure that it's not a problem. There's plenty of times at games I'm putting out fires, but you would not even know because I'm just making sure it's taken care of and it's not hindering anything else that's going on or stopping the show.
Yeah, man. I mean, I guess I would say, just from my observation, football is obviously a big time operation. I'm sure for God only knows what time you get there for a 1 a or 1 p.m. game. Um, but I would say even for that, man, it looks like basketball. Um, it looks like basketball. That's just a whole different animal, especially when we get to CIAA South play, and everybody from Charlotte to Raleigh wants to get in to the gym, and you have to be the. I think a lot of times you have to be the one to tell them when to shut it down, when to open it up, and all of those things. And I mean, do you ever feel pressure?
Honestly, no. I love our atmosphere. I remember when the atmosphere wasn't like that. I tell people I feel like I created a monster, but I'm able to tame it. I will say that at the end of the day, I still have to follow rules. If we're at capacity, I try my best to make sure that we do not go over capacity because all it takes is a fire marshal coming in, shutting down the game. Game ends. We have to forfeit. Everyone has to leave, and we can't replay that game. On top of there could be a $10,000 fine or more. So I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. So other than that, I just make sure I'm paying attention to all things and making sure at the end of the day, it's not just about making sure that our student athletes are safe, but also our fans.
Yeah, no doubt. As we are in the chat, did want to highlight a comment from Miss Carolyn Anderson, Dr. Carolyn Anderson. She says, "Thank you, April, for looking out for your older fans. We really appreciate you and your students, making sure that we have seats and getting refreshments from the concession stands." Big shout out to Dr. Anderson. She's always there, always showing up big for the Rams, and so we appreciate her. I want to give her flowers as well. But obviously, she want to make sure that you got your flowers. Nicole Gathers as well. She says, "Yes, April, you the GOAT." I agree. Alexa, hi, what's going on? How are you? She says, "Go April." You got your coworkers in here as well. yeah, just take me through. Okay, put me in these shoes. I know I don't want to even strike this nerve yet because we haven't even got there yet, but it's game day at CE Games, and we're hosting any CIAA South school that thinks they're our rival. We don't even need to name a name. What is your day like? What's your day like start to finish? Like break that down for me.
So believe it or not, game day actually starts the day before, whether it's football or basketball. Um, Getting things set up, having things in place. For basketball, we're talking on a weekend. Let's say a weekend. Weekend, we're talking a 2 and a 4 o'clock game, 2 for women, 4 for men. Doors opening at 1. I'm getting there between 7 and 8 a.m., making sure everything's in place, everything's in order. Myself and my wonderful students, I don't know what I'll do without them. We come in, my game day operations teams. For those that know them, they're the ones with the bright color shirts. I need to be able to see them. So we get together, go ahead and start getting everything prepped. Everybody gets their game day assignments. We're making sure everything's done, testing equipment, and getting the lines ready. I'll be honest, depending on the game, such as those people, like you were saying, thinking that they'll win. Um, there's times that when we get there, there's already a line already started. So there's times for like those big games, we make sure that we go ahead and get the bike racks put together, have those out ready, just to try to help with the lines, because we did have one time where the lines were so horrible that you couldn't even open the door. And one thing I'm not going to make sure that, well, one thing I'm going to make sure is to make sure no one gets trampled, because I definitely don't want that to happen. Because as Miss Anderson said, and I love you too, I love you, Miss Anderson. I always make sure that everybody's good with what they need. So I want to make sure it's an easy egress getting into the games, because at the end of the day, everyone's there to have a good time and to support their school.
Yeah, no doubt. As we continue the conversation with April Reid, she is the Associate Athletic Director for Operations and Equipment. So she's got dual role there in title alone, let alone in duties. So we definitely appreciate her. Shonda Southern says, thank you for assisting the alumni Scarlet Lace during homecoming. Shout out to our guy, 360 Elite. The mastermind behind the Game Center Mania. I've seen her and her staff in action on game day, and it's amazing. Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about that. Because again, I know when you and I went to school, we were doing that transition. We started off in the CIAA. We did that transition to the MEAC, and we played a lot of our games over across the road at the Annex or at the Coliseum, which was a fun environment for some games, some of the big games, but it was definitely a different animal than what we have now at CE Games. Kind of walk me through, your eyes, what it's been like, the culture, the culture shift that's taking place where it used to be games was only when we were there, games were only the games that were like during the
Preseason.
during the preseason or when nobody was there. So just kind of talk to me about what do you think that secret sauce has been? Because even before we started winning, you could kind of see it building and things like that. What do you think that has been in your eyes?
I think it's more of understanding your fans, being able to get out to see like what is that you want. I actually ask people what you like and what you didn't like. What is it that you like to see, and I try to incorporate that, making sure that it's a family friendly event as well. So at one point, with basketball, we was able to get DP to come in and be our host, and we were able to get the DJ in. That helped with basketball as well. For football, B Dot, he was our announcing at one point. He left, but myself and one of my former colleagues, we fought and we did what we need to do to get him back, and he's been back ever since. And we love him for being there. Me and B Dot, we go way back, so he know anything he need, I got him. So that was one of the big things that we did. So it's basically the thing is, what people got to understand is, with a game, I need them to be entertained, just not for the game, but also during the timeouts and everything else. We want to create an experience that when they leave, that when they gonna want to come back, and when they come back, they're gonna bring somebody else with them. So I know one of the things we did, not last year, but the year before, I was able to get the Lawrence Joe. It was the last day I'm sorry, it was the senior day and last game of the year going into the CIAA tournament. And it was big. I enjoy being able to get people there. We actually filled up the bottom of the Coliseum, and it was a great experience. Outside of some other things that happened, but people was actually able to get there, because I know one of the things we have issues with, a lot of alum would say, well, I don't even want to come because I'm probably not going to get in. I refuse to drive. So that was one of the things, like, I was getting that. So myself and my boss, AD Thomas, we got together, say, okay, what can we do to be able to get everyone here and they don't have to worry about being turned around? So we was able to do that partnership to get everyone to come in and see that game. Of course, we won. Another thing that I tell people that I looked into it was, it also benefited our basketball team. With that, now they're already prepared going into playing in a closer, more intimate arena, to an actual arena closer to what they'll be experiencing with the CIAA tournament. So we went towards that, and we came out with a win for that 2023 year.
Nah, I loved it. That was a great experience. That was a great experience. That's definitely one of my favorite games, just because I think it was great. Like I said, I mean, I remember going to the Coliseum back when we were playing those folks over in East Greensboro, and some other folks over in the MEAC, and it was like, sometimes it, depending on who it was, it'd be less or more, but it was great to have that environment and feel big time, for sure. So hopefully, hopefully maybe we'll, I don't know, maybe it'll be in the cards again for us to go there. But I think even with Game Center, I think it's important for, I've seen the remake that you guys have been doing there. The bleachers and the paint. I know the banners. And then also the video board. Just talk about some of those things that you guys have done to make the best out of games. I mean, you guys have put in everything except for air conditioner. So
don't everybody want that good old AC? I do too. So you want me to tell you what's funny about the AC? People fail to realize we've never had AC in that gym. I think global warming is really showing it, but we've never had AC. So y'all, the AC is not broke. We just never had it. But at the end of the day, that's our home. So I wanted to make sure everything looked like a home. So when it came to the bleachers, I lie to you not, we was working on trying to get those bleachers changed for about 10 years. I was actually assisting with that as well. So finally got the bleachers done. I redid the floors. Definitely once I got the paint put in, repainted the walls, things started to brighten up, got LED lights in the gym. You can actually see now. That definitely helped out with everything. And then with the video board, when we looked into doing that, not only did we do a video board, we did 2 in games. It also added the new scores tables. Those were digital boards as well. And then of course, I don't want to leave out Whitaker. We was able to put a digital scoreboard in Whitaker gym as well, so that way volleyball would be able to have something.
yeah, and so now that it's officially out now, I came across it a couple weeks ago. I heard about it. You guys have completed a mural with 2 of our own fellow WSSU alumni. Talk about that and what happened with that and what that is for folks who haven't had a chance to see it yet. I know it was just announced officially today.
Yes, shout out to Philip, Osborne, and Brandon. Those are my buddies. We all went to school together here too. I just know that one day I called him up and said, "Hey, I got a vision." And when I say he brought that vision to life, he did. The funny thing is, we actually started working on this about 2 to 3 years ago, to the point that he even he had some coloring books. His coloring books basically showcase things on campus and pushing out the Ram Pride for the kids and whatnot. So those actual 2 images, you will be able to find them in his coloring books. But one of them was I just wanted like a timeline. So with that timeline, we have some of the greats that came through for basketball. here at Winston State, and he basically showcased. Of course, I had to put the one and only Big House Gaines in the middle because, of course, as we say, he built the house that Big House built. He's there along with Cleo Hill, Sharon, who else? Sharon Tanner, Stephen A. Smith. We got Earl the Pearl Monroe. So we got some good people there. So if anybody ever have a chance to come by, please feel free to come by and see it. It's a great photo op. The pictures do no justice. It's definitely, to see it in person is amazing. And then we also have one in the field house. This actual location is where the football team runs out for pregame prior to the game. So it's real nice. And like I said, if you guys ever have a chance to come out to see it, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, I saw a couple weeks ago. I don't tell everything I know, so but I was happy to see that it's done. Again, great job by filling those guys. I think I appreciate you being there because to have an alumnus there that has those connections and knows those connections and knows people, like Phil and other folks who can get it done is amazing. I'm gonna have to get my daughter one of his coloring books. She's kind of young for it right now, but go ahead and do that. And I think that's a great, and it just I think I like what you said about taking care of. It's the home that we have, and we're taking care of it. And I think that's definitely important as we continue to go on. And then the other home, our home away from home, but it's still kind of home. We got Bowman Gray Stadium. Football. Talk to me about the animal that football is, as far as getting that prepared. And I ask you, do you prefer 6 p.m. games or 1 p.m. games? I'm guessing you get to sleep in a little bit later than the 6 p.m. games, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Well, there's nothing like a night game. I love a night game. But I will say, beginning of the season, please give me them late games because it's too hot. Being out there all day, it's too hot. But honestly, it really don't matter to me. But like I said, there's nothing like a night game. It's something about those field lights when they come on. Everything just look different, and it feel different.
Yeah, no doubt. And as we talk about that, so obviously football season getting ready to start. The student athletes are going to be reporting, I believe, or may have already reported. So we're going to have that. So you guys have also released your theme. I know everybody's excited about going over to Guilford County, that school, the farm school, everybody's excited about that game, and that's dope. But we got 5 home games this year. And just talk about that. I know you guys released the theme schedule. So just talk about that. We can, go through them. But, first game of the season, got to wait a little bit. It's in mid-September, but we have the game against Ohio Dominican. I know we played against them last year, and I'm sure you were there at the game. Just talk about that game, which is a red out, and just kind of I think it's just great for you guys to get out the themes early and often, so people that can know and kind of get a chance to look at it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we try to do this year is make sure we're getting information out sooner than later. So that gives everybody time to prepare for what they're doing. Then even with us going this year with just doing strictly colors, it make it easier. So now you can actually show up and not have to say, well, I don't know if I have that, or I don't know if I can find that. We made it simple enough for you. But with the themes, it's something that's going to be impactful. I know we even have some televised games this year as well. We actually have one on the road and one home. So of course we want to want everybody to show up and show out. Come support the teams. Don't just go tailgate, come inside the game too, please and thank you. Because that's how you really help us. And the thing is, when with football, when we get people at football games, it helps every sport, not just football. So that's one of the things. But for the themes, like you were saying, the red out, that'll be exciting. Of course, season opener, we have the red out going on. And then that we'll also have what we got white out after that for Bowie. Because the good thing about it that you can keep up with is every other week. You got after A&T, let's say that. Mm-hmm. Because week 0 kind of happened because, of course, St. Aug, for those that don't know, They no longer have a football program for this year. They did cancel that season, so that added week 0, so that way we could still be able to fulfill all of our needs and responsibilities for having as many games as we're supposed to. And then after A&T, of course, just know they help you. If we home, next week we away. Home away, home away, home away, home away. That's the best way to put it. And then of course, like what else we got? Whiteout, we got red out, whiteout, then blackout.
We got the 28th, after I think they go to Virginia State on the 21st. And after they knock them off and upset them and shock the world, then they have and they get to play the other Axis power of the North, Bowie State. And that is a whiteout.
Correct.
I only know this because I just made a TikTok about it. So so that's a good way to keep it up there. And then the next game will be against Shaw. That's a blackout. So everybody loves the black. And then the next game, which will be the Johnson C. Smith game, which I think we definitely need to talk about that, just because again it's a TV game. That is the pink game, and then the last game obviously is homecoming. But I think for that Johnson C. Smith game, I don't know, man. I feel like it's going to be interesting too, because I know visually, being a photographer and everything like that. And please, guys, if you're watching, please make sure that you like the stream. It helps it out so that it gets in more people's algorithm. But I think one of the things that people see is, we have by far the largest stadium in the CIAA, right? We hold 18,000 people or whatever.
7,800.
Oh, okay.
17,800.
17. Okay, 17,800 is how many we hold, and obviously we have our side, and it's there the same size as the press box. But I think during the game they actually usually use that opposite shot. Any thoughts about maybe getting people to flip sides for one game?
Yes, it's currently in the making. So for that. So I'll go ahead and prepare you guys. The middle of the bowl will be shut off. So you're going to have to sit one side or the other. And then as it fill up, we'll start opening up the middle. Because for one, what people don't realize, we look packed. But if you see the opposite side, that's the side the camera gets. So it looks like no one's there. So one, it doesn't help the university, because for one thing, if people are looking at games, everyone's talking about the games, but don't look like anyone there. If they've never been there, they'll not know. So that's definitely one of the things that's in the making. So we'll actually be shutting down that middle section to force you to sit on both sides. And then also you get camera time. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want to get camera time? Because trust me, those cameras will be zooming in. I had a meeting with HBCU Go. They were actually excited, especially seeing the size of the stadium. And we've also incorporated some other events that'll take place, such as the cheer block party. For those that's not aware, that actual group is basically our wonderful powerhouse. They actually have where they bring in different teams. And so if you ever see, basically the whole track is filled with high school and middle school cheerleaders. And then they cheer the first half, and then they go up in the stands the second half.
Yes. So look, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. People get caught set in their ways, and they're used to sitting where they sit and all of that stuff. But I've taken on the role that one of my missions in life one of my duties in life is to say things that other people don't want to say. So look, go on the other side for the Johnson C. Smith game. I know for one, we can't count on Johnson C. Smith to be sitting there. Let's just keep it a buck. They feel like they might win this year, so maybe there a couple more people will trickle in. But they definitely need to see red. So I should have known already that you would be on top of that, because like you said, that HBCU Go game is I think they're available in like 95% of TV homes. So a lot of people will be able to sit and watch Winston-Salem State in a way that they've never really been able to do it before, and I think that's amazing. So hopefully everybody can get out their feelings for a game. So if you get asked to not sit where you usually sit, you'll be all right. Come on, wear your pink and have a good time. Just let's see your smiling face on camera. as we restore order against Johnson C. Smith. They think they're gonna come to Bowman Gray and do like some other school did last year, who beat us 2 years in a row. So gotta have a little pride there. Anyway, and then there's homecoming, right? So homecoming is November 9th. A little late for some people. Me, I love my home, and I know there's a lot of factors. I love my homecoming in between October 15th and my birthday weekend. So so my birthday is November 2nd. We're actually off that weekend. I love my homecoming in between like that, October 15th and November 4th. But there's a lot of things that go into it. Just talk about homecoming or just anything that folks coming to Bowman Gray this year can look forward to that may be new that you can put out there.
Okay. So yeah, I know a lot of people talked about the late homecoming, but understand that when we choose the game, understand we put it out as recommendation. We have to get those dates approved. So don't think that we just say, oh yeah, we're just going to do this date because this is what we want to do. No, we have to actually get those dates approved. And then too, one of the things that we think about are our fans. So for example, this year, for those other dates of the home games, either there was going to be no hotels available. So therefore that you guys would have came and hotels would have been basically tripled or quadrupled. We also had such as like the fair. That actually caused hindrance when it comes to police personnel and other personnel in the city. So it's a lot of factors that go into it that some people don't really realize and understand. But yeah, we don't just pick a date just because you're like, hey, we're just gonna wait and do this. And then I got a lot of questions like, why we want to do that against Fayetteville State? Why wouldn't we? Why do we have to feel like someone's inferior to us? It doesn't matter who we play. Just show up.
Exactly. I'm glad you said that. I got a old school of back in the day. I think this is a sure. I think this is not. This might be a Chris Zona special, but it's definitely a Trevin special. Look, man, don't talk about me about why are we playing Fayetteville State for homecoming? Do I need to pull out the record books, man? I don't care. They could be, Anyway, this is about WSSU. So, no, and I don't want to keep you on here too long. I know I've had you on for quite a while, but I just really appreciate it. I think it's great for people to hear from you and see some of the things that you're doing and that you've been doing. One of the things that you do, and I know we had this conversation a little while ago, was that the equipment. I know that's something that people don't think about a lot, but I know you told me I think a couple years ago that only a couple CIAA schools. Only a couple CIAA schools actually had a uniform, someone that was dedicated to doing that. So just talk about that part of your job and what you enjoy in that, and as we'll look at some of your creations as well. We'll go through a couple of these. But just talk about that part of it. You do design the uniforms. Talk a little bit about the uniform situation to us.
Oh yeah, so the wonderful uniforms. So for starters, everyone, we are not an Under Armour school. We are a Under Armour conference. So I didn't choose on Under Armour. That's just who our conference decided to be. So if that was the signed agreement, that's what we're gonna stick with. But one of the things that I make it my justice to do is to make sure we don't look like everybody, because a lot of those uniforms, everybody start to look the same. So I try to incorporate our culture. I try to incorporate everything that we do. I've had some people say, well, we should get a gray uniform. No, we should not. Gray is not our colors. I have to remind people our colors is scarlet and white. Those are our colors. Black is an accent because of the new Ram here. Yes, there's an accent of gray, but I promise you will not see a gray uniform. I know it could be tough, but yeah, no, we're not doing that. Even down to the black uniforms. It took me about 3 years just to get us approved to be able to do black uniforms, because of the fact that that's not our colors. But what people got to understand is that those things like that helps with recruitment. It definitely helps with getting social media push, because of course, let's be honest, social media is one of the things that everybody look into, and that's what grabs people. There's a lot of times I hear people say, so people ask, well, what brought you to the school? They'll say, one, the atmosphere at a game, or two, our wonderful powerhouse. those are the top two that I always hear what brought people to Winston-Salem State. So things like that we have to incorporate as well.
Yeah, no doubt. And like you said, black is an accent color. Thank you for giving the school official school colors. A lot of people don't know because we used to have the blue. I'm
We
one of the
did.
people that's always looking for some blue. I think you might have snuck a little blue in a uniform or two. But that's a former accent color. Um, would you ever like to see? I know you said no to gray. Would you ever like to see a little blue back in there? I know everybody got the Jordans and they wanna match the Jordans, but they make Jordans in all colors.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've even been thinking about depending on how funding. Of course, funding is one thing too, but thought about even doing
Uniforms
like
cost money, so
it's gonna. You're right. It costs money. So I even
it
thought
costs money to
about.
look good.
You're right. So possibly it's in the works. Possibly we'll see. Thought about having each team to be able to do like a throwback game. So I'll design a uniform with the red, white, and blue. So it's a lot of things you got to go through to make sure you get it approved. But that's something we thought about. I know last year, not sure if you've seen it, but we did a throwback cheer uniform with the red, white, and blue too. So
Yeah, homecoming. It's
yes.
definitely nostalgic. Yeah, yeah. So we'll get to this. So as we go look at some of the stuff, some of the designs that I picked out that you were a part of, and you talked to me just about the process here. But this is the black jersey for the men's basketball. Made its debut in 2020. I know we have ones for women's basketball as well. I really like those two. I like the nice little. I like the script. Well, let me tell me what the thought was behind this design.
That I was just thinking a little new school and a little old school at the same time. That's why I went with the script. I don't know what it is about that script. That script just do something to me, and it just make it pop even more. Also with that particular uniform, you can't see it there, but that on the shorts down the leg, it's spelled Ramley. I put that in script as well. So that was the one of the first uniforms that we was able to do in black for the men. So I said, if I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it. So I wanted to make a statement with those. And then after that, that's when I was able to trickle through and make sure everybody else get one as well.
No doubt, no doubt. So speaking of Ramley, this is the 2.0 of that. We'll get to 1.0 in a second, but the shooting shirt for the 2023 Rams, who did bring home the championship. I see we got the 67 on the side, in addition to the Ramley. Just talk to me about this uniform design and what those signify.
Yeah, at the time, I met with the coaches and they said they wanted to do something to just to do a tribute to that 67 team. So we came together, they gave me some thoughts. So I just went in and I put some things together and they was like, yeah, that's it. That's it right there. So got that done, brought them out, and then everybody seemed to love them. After that, everybody was putting the things. So one of the main things we was talking about this one was that we got the Ramley on our backs. So literally and figuratively. So that's was the whole concept with those.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. No, that was a very clean look. Then we got the white football unis, right? So I think this is our second Under Armour. We're on our second generation of Under Armour uniforms. I think at this point, um,
Yes.
nice, really clean look. Um, yeah, I we do. Do we have a white on white combo yet?
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay, okay. Look, don't let me get you in trouble now. I mean, I got you. I got you. Don't, I press buttons around here, but it's but I just love the white. I think it looks really clean. But just tell me
Mhm.
about this. Just talk to me, walk me through this one.
So I'll be honest, between those, the white ones and the black ones, when we first went to Under Armour, we had a 2-year transition to get every sport team in a uniform.
Mhm.
Because of funding, you're having to do that within 2 years. We had to go the stock route. So stock uniforms, they're not as fitted, they're more bulky. So we did what we needed to do. I didn't like them. So after that, that's when I went and started going into the custom fit. So for these, one of the things that's different about these, the numbers, everything is stitched on. I didn't go with the screen print. We did with screen print, you have the
And it shows.
cracking, and it does, especially after time. So for these, we went with the stitch for that, as well as the ram head on the side and the numbers on the shoulder pads, the TV numbers.
Yeah, no doubt. And you were here for the changing of the logo. For all I know, you helped create the logo. I don't know. You tell me.
I did create it. I was on a committee though.
Okay, so you were on the committee. Okay, first off, how do you feel about the old Ram logo? So, that's the Ram logo that I knew and I loved, Um, some people like to say that it looked like parts of the anatomy, whatever.
Mhm.
But how do you feel? How did you feel about the transition from logos and yeah, just and being a part of that?
I'll be honest, it was different. Well, the old logo, that was my logo. So that's how I felt about it. But the new one, it had to grow on me. I'll be honest. It had to grow on me. And then after a while, I'll never forget they ended up bringing out the full body. I can tell you
Hmm.
one thing, you'll never see that on anything athletics. The university can use that. We will continue to go with the ram head. Don't really care for the full body, but you know, and I thought about, I was telling them, I said, y'all don't think about things I do. I'm thinking about embroidery with stitch count. That no, we'll stick with the ram head. And then I thought of even down to putting on the football field. No, that's too much. That's the one heck of a stencil. So we'll stick with the ram head. But anytime you see athletics, you always see the ram head. But the new logo, I mean, it were at first. And I'll be honest, it took a couple of months for me to be like, okay, it's growing on me. And I think when it really hit me, when I was like, okay, I can make this work, is when we got it put on the stenciled on the football field for that first game. Then I was like, okay, I can make this work. I'm here for it.
Yeah, nah, it definitely was a change. And we'll go to, I think we have one. Okay, so we'll go back to basketball here. This is the inaugural Ramley edition, which also has, I don't have the photo, but it also has the script writing on the front too.
Mhm.
Immediately I saw this and I was like, very retro. But yeah, just talk me through this one.
So so yeah, that was a retro feel. Um, at the time, Coach Hill, no, not Coach Hill. Coach Hill, he was just like, yeah, whatever y'all do, I'm like, you good, you good. So at the time, me and Coach Beckwith, when we did those, we was thinking retro to the point we was even looking for the breakaway pants. I couldn't find none though, just to go with them. But if I could have found those breakaway pants, we would have made something happen. But I one time I was like, I don't know, we might give them those. They ain't from my era. They might get stuck trying to pull them off or something. We don't know. But yeah, that's what we was going for, that retro look.
Yeah, I think about it too. You talk about retro. I mean, I did see some photos of when Corey Thompson played. They did have they had a nice little black. I don't know. I mean, you probably, I'm sure you way ahead of me. They had a nice little black with, I think, like the stitching on the side. It's a cool little look. I don't think.
Mhm.
Yeah, so never know. Yeah, break away with the snaps. So lean with it, rock with it. And then we have these helmets right here, the infamous, these infamous helmets. I remember this was 2015. I remember the first game. Everybody made a big deal. There was no logo, and by everybody, I probably mean me. But anyway, and then all of a sudden, I think game two, you guys come out with. I think this might be the boldest helmet that we've ever had in WSSU history. We had WSSU at the state of North Carolina. It was our state,
Mhm.
red WSSU, and we had the years of all of our CIAA championships on it. And I'll be honest, we were coming into year two of Coach Bullware. Hey, Alonzo, look, I look that we were 5-5 that year, but they managed to get to the CIAA championship game and win and add another win total. That otherwise, I would say yes, it would have been a disaster. But talk to me through this, you guys. You guys, all the years of the championships. A lot of people thought it was a little bit bold. But what do you think about what was the talk to me about this?
So, it's funny you brought that up. So, just to give y'all some background on everything. So, yes, that first game we did not have decals. The thing is, the decals did not get delivered.
And that
So we
happens
was
quite a
like,
bit, right?
yeah. So we was like, what we gonna do? Like, well, at the end of the day, you just need a helmet to play a game. So put those helmets on, get out there, and show your Ram pride at this point. But at first we had people that was like either they like it or they loved it. I mean, they was like, it's okay. Then other people's like, okay, but when they was able to see it in great detail, they actually was down for it. So one of the things with the championship years though, that was one of the things too that kind of held us up. The championship years wrong. They were backwards. The most recent was supposed to be in the front, going all the way back to the first, but they flipped it. So it's just like, you know what, we got them now. We're just gonna go ahead and move forward. But see, nobody knew that. But now you know, just to share a little gem with you guys.
Okay, no doubt. We appreciate it. They did get a championship the next year, so then that's the thing about those. That's kind of only good till you get the next championship. Which hey, but nah, it's I really appreciate you for hopping on, April. We've been on here for almost an hour, so I'm gonna not keep you any longer. But I just wanted to really appreciate you for coming on, being a representative of WSSU in the athletic department as an alumna. I know that our athletic culture, we have a lot of pride. A lot of people feel some type of way about it, but hey, that's their business. We know it,
FBI.
we love it exactly, and I appreciate you for making sure that has been passed down, and you have been handed the torch, and you've not dropped it. I think even those little things, I think the student athletes, they may not soak it in now, but I think it just adds a little bit to the pride. And when they're wearing it across their chest, and they can see that there's a lot of history behind them, and they're a part of that too. So I really want to appreciate you for giving us your time, giving your talents, and just everything that you do for WSSU, seen and unseen. I know, again, a lot of times, you're working those long hours, and the folks that you work with, obviously, they have a lot of affinity for you, and folks that know you do as well. I know it's a hard job, especially on those Saturdays when people trying to get into the game center every way, but through the roof. And you got to shut it down. But now we just appreciate you for sure. As Caramel Cutie says, she wanted to let you know you did a great job. 360 Elite as well. Shout out to Alonzo being our admin in the comments. And yeah, just any last words that you have for WSSU Ram Nation, just about looking forward to the season, or just the floor is yours, April. The words.
Yeah, just everybody go ahead and get your season tickets. The way you guys been acting about this A&T game, I need that same energy
Same
for
energy.
y'all to be in Bowman Gray Stadium, okay?
Same energy.
5 games, $125. You can't beat it
With a stick.
whatsoever. You're gonna save about $75 to $100 instead of buying single game tickets. Get your single, not your single games, but your season tickets. Go ahead. You can buy them online now. And one thing I will say, just to go ahead and give you guys a heads up, we are going cashless. That's for parking and tickets. Don't bring no cash. We can't help you. Go online, purchase your tickets. I can tell you that on Wednesday of next week, single game tickets will go on sale. You can go ahead and purchase them if you don't want to go get the other ones. But I'm trying to tell you, get your season tickets today, tomorrow. Call your friends, call your aunties, call your grandma, granddaddy. I don't care. Call them. Your cousin twice removed. Season tickets, $125. You can go online now and purchase them. In order for a lot of people like that South lot, the only way you can park in that South lot is if you have a season ticket or you're a Horns member. Everybody else, you either got to go east or west. Why not go ahead and park when you can walk straight into the game? So that's the only other thing I have for you guys. Uh-oh, we went out.
We
We good.
Yeah, I'm good. You good? Okay, I see you too.
Okay.
Yeah, we fighting this. I guess the edges of these storms are starting to come here through Winston. So, I definitely appreciate it. Everybody, please make sure that you like the stream before you get out, and make sure you share this as well. And April, I appreciate you, and we look forward to having you back on again sometime soon. All right, internet's fading. Let's see. Oh, okay.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, we're looking forward. Definitely looking forward to having you again soon, and we appreciate everything you do. And when you see her, if you never met her before, let her know that you met her via Ram Nation. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we will see you down the road.
All right, have a good one.
At Bowman Gray.
At Bowman